Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Alicia and this is Alicia Runs and Reads. In today's video, I'm going to be reading Ali from Alidoisreads all books from her favorites video, which is up here. And I'm super excited about it. I have watched her video already, and the reason I decided to read a bunch of Ali's favorites is because I already had these two on my physical TBR, so I might as well read them and see what I feel about them. And now I know that there are people that really love them, so maybe I'll love them too. And then this one I was able to get from the library, and then The Wall of Winnipeg and Me is on Hoopla, and I got it from the library, so it was easy peasy. And I love Ali, so Ali, if you're watching, thanks for the love. I am reading Ali's favorites in this vlog, and I'm starting with Spread Me by Sarah Gailey. I just started this. This is some sort of erotic, cosmic-y kind of horror. That's pretty much all I know about it. I think they're at this space station or something, and they take in a specimen. She's not supposed to take in live specimens, but she did, and then I'm assuming some sort of weird erotic chaos ensues, so we'll see. It's pretty short, so I'm hoping to start and finish this today before I go on my trip. I am trying to do several vlogs right now. I'm feeling energized and reinvigorated and all the things I probably will not be feeling when I get back from my trip. I also running my race, and I also have like just excess energy because it's taper time, so we call this the taper crazies. If you are a runner, you know what I'm talking about, where you're used to running 30 miles a week and then you go from 30 and you keep dropping it down, and then the week before you really don't run at all. Ran yesterday like super short, super slow, and you go a little crazy. So this is the last day before my trip. I leave tomorrow, so that is exciting, and you should be seeing bits and bobs on my trip while I read the books. Oh, apparently everybody in this research team except for our main character are commingling together. They're having interesting sexy times together, so that's already happened. And the main character's name is Kinsey, and I like the name Kinsey and Kenzie and all those names. They're very nice, but Kinsey just reminds me of the Kinsey scale and the Kinsey studies, which are all about sex. So we're off to an interesting start, and I'm on page 6. So Kinsey is not attracted to people at all. They are attracted to viruses, apparently. That's the only thing that they think about when they're doing stuff. She talks about this creature that they found and her team and everything. And after they find this creature, they all are, of course, in quarantine, and everybody gets sick with this virus, and I'm not going to tell you what happens to them, but everyone gets sick with this virus, and she's not attracted to any of them before, but then after she is with one of them and she is attracted to them all of a sudden, and then they start to have weird stuff happen. I liked this one part. It says, she's talking about how she's not attracted to any of them, and she's also their superior, so it wouldn't be ethical to intermingle. She says it would be unethical for her to donate her orifices to the office potluck. Oy. And then she talks about how when she was in quarantine that she had 3 days of non-stop masturbation because she was just thinking about this virus the whole time. So this is weird and interesting, just as you would expect. I have an update for you guys on Spread Me by Sarah Gailey. I finished this last night. I'm about to go get in the car and get to the airport, but I thought I'd update you guys first. I liked this. I gave it a 4-star. I didn't like it as much as Ali, but I still enjoyed it. It didn't go as crazy as I thought it was going to, which maybe is not something that most people would agree with, but maybe since I've been reading some Drew Huff lately, body horror, alien sexuality kind of stuff that I've read, and goes, I would say, a little goofier than this, so I was not shocked at all, but I did enjoy it. I found it very entertaining, and what can I say, Kinsey really fell in love with her work. Themes on identity in here and isolation, and off I go. All right, I made it to our giant room for just me and my parents. We got a 2-bedroom at Old Key West because my parents are DVC members. So, and they spoiled me. Usually on a race weekend, we just do, like a 1-bedroom, and then I sleep on the pullout. But I got 2 beds this time. I don't just have 1, I got 2. So let me show you the room. This is our giant kitchen. And this is where I would normally sleep, but I have my own bedroom this time. And this is my room. Look how big it is, just for me. And a table. And my own bathroom, my own shower. And this is their laundry. This is their nice big tub that I probably will be using at some point, maybe not. But it's nice to have a soak in the jacuzzi tub. Hi! Nice shower. This is their king bed. And out here is our balcony. Very nice. This is where I'll be reading. So on the plane, on the way to Florida, I started Allie's Favorite Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Holworth. And this is about Lucy and her friend group and growing up in Ireland in the 1990s as someone who's figuring out her sexuality and recognizing that she might be different than others and she could be queer. And she is very obsessed with her friend Susanna. Their budding attraction to each other, but you don't really know if Susanna's attracted to her or if it's all in Lucy's head at first. You know, the realities of the 1990s and not being like everyone else in growing up and, going through all the changes of puberty and realizing that, you're not looking at the opposite sex the way that others are. And, you're having feelings for someone of the same sex as you. And there's a lot of yearning and obsession and just longing to be able to tell the other person how they feel. Yeah, I'm really liking this so far. There's a lot of really good, luscious writing in here. It's a lot of sort of stream of consciousness. It strikes as very true and honest about what it's like to be a teen, just learning about yourself and discovering who we really are. So I got here last night and went to dinner with my parents, and now we're gonna head over to the Magic Kingdom just for a little bit. I got my race bib and everything. This is our view. Right, there's my dad. Go ahead, Dad. Do a Main Street strut. So I'm about halfway through summer now, and I am just loving all the teenage yearning. The writing is so raw and real, and it definitely seems like someone who knows what it's like to be a teenage girl and to have these feelings for the first time and to be falling in love for the first time. And then with the added aspect of queerness in it and having to come to terms with that in the 90s when you're, in Ireland in a Catholic family, and the guilt of that, and having one partner wanting to be out and proud and, be in public together, and the other one not really, wanting to. So, and I'm also loving the complicated family dynamics with Susanna and her mom. I think that is really interesting to examine. And the dynamics between Lucy and Martin are really interesting as well. Martin is her boyfriend that's a boy that she grew up with, Lucy. So I'm finding that really interesting as well. There's a lot of juicy quotes in here that I'm really liking. And yeah, so I'm really liking this so far. These are just a few examples of some of the quotes. Lucy says, "She has put herself at the center of my attention. She has taken control of my emotions. and I feel her thrashing around within me so intensely I pray she will never let go. And then a page later, Lucy is writing to Susanna. She begins to write a letter that says, I am all wounds, Susanna, and you are the loveliest pus flooding in to heal me, yellow as the sun. So that's something else. I can't imagine writing that to somebody. And yeah, so this is really good. They are writing letters to each other, which is just another aspect that I'm really loving. So I'm gonna keep reading. I went to the Magic Kingdom for a little bit with my parents. We rode Tiana's Bayou Adventure, got a snack, and then came back here because it's really just, we gotta chill since I have the 2 races tomorrow and Sunday. And we're gonna go to Animal Kingdom Lodge for dinner at Sanaa later, so that'll be delicious. And then I'm gonna come back here and probably pass out.
Course narrows ahead.
Perfect.
I am home. I finished Sunburn on the plane, and my brain is a little broken right now because for a few days after a Run Disney weekend, I feel sort of like I have a mild flu and body aches and recovery in full effect today. I am drinking lots of water, I am reading, I am resting, and picking up groceries and cooking dinner, and that's about it. The rest of the day is sitting and resting, stretching, taking a hot bath. I finished Sunburn. I'm gonna give it just shy of 5 stars. It didn't give me the special 5-star feeling, but I liked it a lot, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give it 5 stars on Goodreads. The ending was ambiguous and I liked it. I liked that. I'm glad it didn't have a fully, like specific ending, and it just was very, very, very good, very yearny and melodramatic and true to that time in someone's life. I really liked the way it dealt with a lot of issues, and I would highly recommend it. So 5 stars, close enough to 5 stars for Sunburn. So I really liked that one. That was a big one. Next on my list for Allie is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I also just finished Binding 13, which is not for this video. It's not for any video. I was reading it for a friend. So I am not really in the mood for another sports romance at the minute. So I think I'm going to read something else and then continue on with this vlog later on, or just read a little bit of this in the evenings because it's a good evening book. But it's another long romance, which I just read, a 600 plus page sports romance. So I'm going to give this one a little bit of a break first. I have been listening to The Wall of Winnipeg and Me today as I'm trying to catch up on laundry and groceries and things around the house since I just got home. I'm liking it so far. It's definitely slow burn. I'm about 114 pages in, and nothing has happened between them yet. I'm liking both the characters so far, but I'm not super invested yet. It's early days since this is almost 500 pages. This is about Vanessa, who is an assistant to this very famous, very successful football player, and she has plans to stop being his assistant because he doesn't give her the respect and appreciation she thinks she deserves, and she's been saving money to start her own business, her own art business, I believe it is. She's trying to get out of that situation, and then he comes crawling back to her, wanting her back, but then also wanting to introduce this new aspect of their relationship. So yeah, I'm liking this a lot so far. He's very grumpy and quiet and almost reclusive in a way. She comes from a background of having a mom who's an addict and ending up in the foster care system, and she has a lot of debt to her name because of all the student loans she took out, and she's been working really hard to set herself up for success in the future, and she's artsy and just seems like a nice person. So an update on The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I am almost halfway through this now. I'm still liking it. I think it's cute. I don't know if it's anything special for me, but I am liking the aspects that we're getting about her childhood and family life and drama. I'm sure that'll be coming up more, and how he is going to react to that later on, because right now he's still being kind of a jerk. Nothing's happened between them or anything like that yet, and we're halfway through, so we've got a ways to go. And I'm really liking his roommate, Zach, I think his name is, and he's funny, and I'm enjoying him as a side character. And then there's also some things going on with her best friend, her boyfriend, that are sketchy. So there's a lot of other things going on in this book besides just the possible future romance of these two. I'm enjoying that. And also she's training for a marathon, Vanessa is, which it will be fun for me to read. Although sometimes I read that in books and I roll my eyes because it doesn't come across as authentic, but I'm not going to look too deeply into that. I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm still liking this. It'll be a 3 or a 4 or somewhere in between there probably is what I'm thinking, unless it blows my mind at the end. I finished it. I ended up really enjoying this. I would say it's at least a 4-star romance. I might even bump it up to a 4.5, 4.25. 4.25 seems right. I just finished writing 13 too, and I wasn't into that one at first at all. This one I was into a little bit more at first, but it just slowly grew on me. And you really get, in this length of a romance, you really get them developing this trust in this relationship that wasn't there before. And the only thing that annoyed me with her a little bit, it was like, obviously he loves you. Like, she's so uncertain about it all, but I mean, I guess with her background and everything, I understand it, but like, obviously, but you don't get his POV, which, you know, sometimes I kind of like, because it's more of a mystery how they're feeling, and it's almost a spoiler sometimes when you get the man POV. It's like, we don't know what's gonna happen because we don't know how he's feeling. So I really like this, and nobody warned me there was a puppy in this, so that upped it even more. Maybe it's a 4.5. But anyways, really enjoyed this. Highly recommend. It's definitely super cute. And yeah, so Allie's doing a good job so far. I think I've rated everything. I did this, a high 4. Sunburn was 5. What was the other one I read for her? Oh, Spread Me. I think I gave a 4. So yeah, we're having a good time with Allie's favorite books here. I started reading Mary Jane last night. This is my last book of Allie's favorites. This is a coming of age in the 1970s about a 14-year-old girl who goes and nannies for a family who's sort of like hippie, very not straight-laced. There's also like a rock star there who's an addict that the father is... Now I can't talk because my brain shut off. There's a rock star and his wife there because the rock star's an addict, and the father is a psychiatrist and he's trying to treat him. And so our main girl, Mary Jane, helping to take care of their kid during the summer, and there's not a lot of rules there, and nobody cooks, and the house is kind of a mess. And Mary Jane comes from a very straight-laced religious family, so she's, you know, learning that not everyone lives the way that she does, and it's in the 70s, so, you know, they are... her family is pretty closed-minded about lots of different groups of people and things, so she's just... So it's just a coming-of-age story so far, and I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, look at you. Oh, you want pats. You're such a good girl. And then there's Ellie, who doesn't care about pats. She only wants waffles. I made waffles for breakfast.
So Mary Jane is like coming into her own sexuality and awareness of that. And the father talks about addiction and drug addiction and alcohol addiction and sex addiction, and now throughout the book she keeps thinking to herself, am I a sex addict? Am I a sex addict? Because she looks at the rock star and feels a certain way, or looks at other people, feels a certain way, or wonders about things. And I just find that kind of funny. I'm on page 137 now, so like 30-something% of the way through. And I am still really liking this, actually. I like the relationship with Izzy, the little girl who's going to be going to kindergarten, so she's probably about 5, 4. And just the dynamics of everybody in the house and some of the chaoticness of it. And you've got Izzy's mom, who is not Izzy's mom, Mary Jane's mom, who's trying to help her by giving advice of what to cook for this family, because she's doing pretty much all the cooking and all the cleaning and taking care of everybody, even though she was never asked to do that, but she's just doing it because she feels like she needs to. And yeah, it's pretty like heartwarming and nice so far, and I am still liking it. I am on page 210 of Mary Jane now. I am still liking this. You really can see Mary Jane's, the oppositeness of her, the polarizedness of her life, where she has her family that is predictable and buttoned up and strict, and then she has this family that she's babysitting for that is completely disorganized and unstructured. and often, you know, their daughter is seeing things that maybe she should be protected from, and not being, you know, not being exposed to, and they are treating Mary Jane like she's more of an adult when she is only 14 years old. It's all very mostly innocent at this point, but at the same time, it's still, you know, you're seeing these two extremes where really what would be best would really be something in the middle. Parents still being parents and children still being children, but not to either one of these extremes for sure. So Mary Jane's kind of coming to terms with the fact that, you know, this situation is probably not the best, you know, when she's the mature one saying, you know, we shouldn't leave Izzy in the house by herself. Like, what if she wakes up and no one's there, and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm still really enjoying this. And there is one part that I felt kind of summed it up. It says, until I met the Cohens, I had no idea that a family would dare discuss something as volatile and embarrassingly personal as infidelity. In my own house, each day was a perfect contained lineup of hours where nothing unusual or unsettling was ever said. In the Cohen family, there was no such thing as containment. Feelings were spotted around the household with the intensity of a spraying fire hose. I was terrified of what I might witness or hear tonight, but along with the terror, my fondness for the Cohens only grew. To feel something was to feel alive, and to feel alive was starting to feel like love. So, still good. It's really gross out and gloomy and kind of like snow raining, but it's too warm for it to do anything much, so I'm sitting here and reading. I finished Mary Jane last night, and I am going to give this a high 4. I thought this was really, really good. I really liked how it ended. I liked how there wasn't really anything too severe in it, and it was almost cozy in a way. Well, and while there were serious topics and things that were happening in here, nothing really went to the extreme or anything that was too serious or crazy. It was just, it made the characters seem very realistic. And, you know, Mary Jane's family was super religious, but they weren't necessarily like abusive or crazy. And this family over here was super not conventional or conservative, but they didn't go to the far end of that either, really. So I really liked this. I liked the ending, and I would recommend it. So thank you to Allie. With that, this is the end of the video. I read 4 of Allie's favorites, and I gave them all, I have everything except for the Wall of Winnipegamy still, and I gave them all 4 and stars and above. So that was a big win for me. So thank you, Allie, for that. If you enjoyed watching, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you next time. Bye. We should do it like Allie, go,